BBC admits it was wrong to report Israel struck Gaza hospital.
Here's a summary of the article.
The UK-based public broadcast channel BBC admitted that it made a mistake in reporting a hospital in Gaza was bombed in an Israeli airstrike. Veteran BBC correspondent John Donison reported live on air that a hospital in the Gaza Strip had been hit by a missile or shell. Donison, who's been working for the UK-based network for 25 years, told viewer the BBC had contacted the Israel Defense Forces for a response to the incident, and added, "But it's hard to see what else this could be really given the size of the explosion other than an Israeli airstrike or several airstrikes." On Thursday, the BBC published a correction on its website, acknowledging that it was wrong for Donison to speculate in the manner he did about who had struck the hospital. "We accept that even in this fast-moving situation it was wrong to speculate in this way, although he, Donison, did not at any point report that it was an Israeli strike," the statement read. "This doesn't represent the entirety of the BBC's output, and anyone watching, listening to or reading our coverage can see we have set out both sides' competing claims about the explosion, clearly showing who is saying them, and what we do or don't know," according to the BBC statement. The chief rabbi of the UK, Sir Rabbi Ephraim Mirwais, criticized the BBC on air and implored them to refer to Hamas a terrorist organization. Protesters sprayed BBC studios in red paint and posted banners showing the faces of Israeli captives being held in Gaza.
This post received a score of 6,200, with an upvote ratio of 90%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Greater than British Public Broadcast Network acknowledges its reporter in Gaza was at fault for throwing charges against Israel live on air. Protest against the BBC continue, blamed a reporter, only apologized after protests. BBC isn't sorry, this is just damage control.
They had in their website "Israel bombs Gaza hospital, 500 dead" as a headline. Their apology is nowhere to be found. If you can report lies in public and apologize privately, you are not a good journalist.
They have a special subsite for corrections.
Their correction is basically, "We're sorry, but here are a bunch of excuses for our behavior which don't address several key points." Good. Then they deleted the old and made new articles that are more accurate, internally investigated the integrity of their sources and promised to uphold a non-biased higher journalistic standard, right? Right?
Nope. Not even an update to this. Still contains a quote about seeing a fighter jet firing 2 missiles, and another about 80% of the hospital being out of service with estimated 1,000 killed or injured.
Complain about it with requesting a reply. If enough people do, I am sure they'll finally give up.
They lied in the statement. How the fuck can their man on the ground assess what he claimed was the biggest fire or whatever it was he said he'd seen, when the man on the ground was in Jerusalem?
I mean, all the ground is connected, isn't it?
Too late for that. The damage to their reputation and further escalating tensions of the regions have catastrophic repercussions.
Their oopsie is going to cause very real bloodshed and significant loss of life.
Synagogues burned in Germany, Spain, and Tunisia so far.
I thought the one in Germany was only an attempted burning.
Only. Thank goodness, because otherwise it wouldn't be safe to be a Jew there. They knew what they did. As a newspaper, you have a responsibility to verify your sources before publishing it. If your only source is a terrorist organization, then maybe make that clear at least.
Doesn't stop them from reporting on number of deaths in Gaza every day based solely on their health ministry's numbers. Took a week for Israel to count their dead, and that was without constant airstrikes. In Gaza 10 minutes later it's another 300 dead. They reported 500 dead on the hospital courtyard strike. It couldn't hold more than 100 people with its size alone.
They're down to 30 to 50 reported dead as of the latest. But the damage is already done. Everyone I've talked to believes Israel slaughtered 500 civilians by flattening a hospital. When I tell them that's not what happened, they refuse to believe it.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.